Okay, so I literally just sat here and watched this whole thing, and it was just filled with people who just arbitrarily inserted themselves into things that had nothing to do with them. I'm like, are you kidding me? Let's talk about this. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I want to put my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Cookie? Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Love and Hip Hop New York, Season 8, Episode 3. Like I said, a lot of people here who just inserted themselves into shit that had nothing to do with them. Mariah Lynn, Dream Doll, just ridiculous. Just inserting yourself in stuff. Ashley, whatever. We will talk about it. Anyway, we've been waiting for Lil Mo. We've seen her in the opening credits and that, and I'm like, well, when are they going to bring Mo on? Child, Mona, if you don't take your ass somewhere and sit down. The first time we see Lil Mo, this whore is out in the middle of the park. In the middle of the park now, with a piano, singing for free. Lil Mo, bitch, you are not Diana Ross. You are not Diana Ross, and you're not going to rise to fame by trying to do a free concert in the park, honey. And then you wasn't like in Central Park, in the middle of the park. You was over in a corner behind a tree. Or what? And I just looked around and seen all these white folks. I said, child, they don't know who she is, where she came from, or what the hell she's talking about. I said, stop this. This is where we're at. From R&B divas to a free concert in the park with 15 people standing around. Girl, you are fabulous. Her and Carl. So I was wondering what the connection was. Her and Carl are connected to Remy and Papoose. They're friends with Remy and Papoose. Go figure. Bullshit. Anyway, so here we go. Lil Mo and Carl. You know what the whole track record is with them. They had all their problems with social media and rumors that Carl had actually slept around on Lil Mo and this, that. And I thought that all of that stuff had been confirmed, that he actually did get caught cheating and all that. Whatever. I don't know. Whatever. It was like this whole big Twitter war. But they got 8 kids. Child. 8 kids. And only one together, which is the 8-year-old. And later in the program, we've seen, and he's a cute little boy. He actually does. He's the only one that they have together. And you can tell because he literally looks just like the two of them. He's a cute little thing. He has the best of what both of them had to give. And he's cute with his little blonde, bleached out hair on top. I said, oh, cute. So we got him. And he's telling Lil Mo, you know, he wants a phone, a cell phone and all that. And she ends up talking to him. And the subject of Google comes up. And he tells her, yeah, mommy, I seen different things about you and daddy cheating on you and this, that, and the other. He ran it all down, you know. And I wanted to smack Lil Mo because she gave him, well, did you believe that? And this, that, and the other. Now, you done played the Jedi mind trick on the baby. Trying to make it, see, and nothing's going on. That ain't true. That ain't true, and I ain't buying it. I ain't buying it. Because, see, later on, we even talked about Carl going back, because he's had an injury, and he's talking about going back into boxing and going to training camp, and you're talking about going back into, and now she's a Muslim, you know, she's all dressed in the garb and everything. I said, girl, you got a whole lot going on. A whole lot going on, but whatever. she had some reservations about being separated out from him. You know why you have reasons about being separated out from your husband? Because your husband got a hot dick and he gives it away to other people. And that's what see, I heard a whole bunch of stuff. I heard rumors of women. I heard rumors of other men. I heard rumors of them taking people into the bedroom together. It was a mess. That mess from the time of Lil Mo being on R&B Divas to her coming on here. I've heard so much stuff about Lil Mo. Dingle wrote 3 books about her and Carl. Okay? So whatever. But yeah, they had that old thing. And then the other thing that was a side-eye moment was when she was saying, you know, I'm going to have to support you. You're going to have to support me. And he says, yeah. You know, and you know, nobody has ever supported me other than one person. There's only one person who ever supported me more than you do. And she's like, well, who is it? Who is she? And there was this whole thing about who she is. So I'm taking it she was some ex. And Mo got up in her feelings, was like, yeah, whatever, this, that, and the other. She talked shit. I said, I don't know about you, Carl. Carl's saving a little hot underneath the belt, and Mo don't seem to trust him. We'll be watching. Speaking of Remy, let me get her on out the way. Remy and Papoose are getting ready to start IVF. And Remy met up with Juju. Okay, and they actually talked about it. And I didn't know that Juju has been through IVF already. And Juju, you know, she was asking Remy, have you thought about how you're going to respond to if it doesn't take the first time? And Remy's like, wow, I never gave that any thought. And it was nice. We got to see the softer side of Remy, because Remy starts to irritate me because she always has this hard shell going, and she's like one of the boys, and she's just always like a dude to me, you know. But Juju was talking, and she got a little emotional, you know, and Remy's like, no, Juju, don't cry, you know, this, that, the other. I'm like, wow, it was really something to see. I had to, and maybe it's just a big deal for me, because I kind of don't really pay Remy a lot of attention. And again, like I said, there's nothing really about Remy that draws me into her. I'm more drawn into Pat. Like, Pat is the one that is so likable. Remy ain't really all that likable. She's so, like, I don't think that it's not that I don't like her, but she just isn't, she doesn't have a welcoming spirit. You know what I mean? She's just there kind of thing. But seeing this little softer side of her, this more feminine, more nurturing side of her, I said, okay, Remy. All right. And she did. She really did comfort Juju and got Juju right back on, you know, right back on track and got her together. I was like, all right, Remy. So that gave me a different look at Remy. And I was like, cool. Yeah, that was interesting. Okay, so that's it. That's enough of them. Mariah Lynn actually sat with Dream Doll because they're cool. So the two of them sat, and they actually talked about the whole thing about James R. and what went down. And Mariah Lynn was saying how she was going to give James R. one more chance, you know, to get himself cleaned up and take care of everything. Well, in the midst of all of that, she ends up going down to he had a video shoot. And Mariah Lynn showed up for the video shoot to support him. Hold that little piece right there. Before all that went on, we see James R. meeting up with old video vixen Sophia the Body, okay? So Sophia and James R. sitting there, and again, you know, you can't help it. He fine. He just is. There ain't nothing you can do about it. Ain't no way to get around it. James R.'s ass is easy on the goddamn eye. That's just all there is to it. But he is a goddamn, he's just a goon. He really is. He is not likable at all. And after watching this episode, I already was kind of like, And then with this episode, he is very unlikable. Very unlikable. He's been you could tell he's been walking around his whole life with people telling him he's pretty and that he's cute and that whole thing. He talked to Sophia. He asked Sophia about being in his music video. He wanted her to be the lead lady in the video. She said, you know what? I don't even do that anymore. I am actually concentrating on being a DJ, and I'm also doing some producing. So they made a little deal. I'll do your video if you get on one of my songs. And they're like, cool, no problem. But in the midst of it, they're talking. Sophia actually has a boyfriend, so she already put that out there that she has a boyfriend. He told her, you know, she said, I know you're with Mariah Lynn. And, you know, he kind of talked about what had happened and told her, you know, I'm not with her no more. So he flirting at her, you know, and she's eating it up. And I'm like, okay, Sophia goes with Jacquay. Y'all remember we met Jacquay last week. She deals with Jacquay, but she has a whore-esque spirit to her, okay? Because when cute-ass James R. was saying something, she wasn't thinking about little ugly-ass Jacquay, okay? So I said, bitch. She was really playing all into it, eating it all up, eating up the attention, honey. Like, oh, yeah, okay. Eating it up. I said, all right, whatever. So anyway, let's go on. Let's move back to the video shoot now. So they're in the video shoot. And they're acknowledging in their confessionals about there being some little sparks between them because, you know, they're all up on top of each other and carrying on in the video. And that's all it was. James R., they're, you know, acting out a very heavy petting scene. But baby, he was ready to stick it on in and she was ready to let him, honey. That's all. There ain't no other way to even explain it. That's what it was. And they're both just smitten with each other with both of their asses in relationships. And then Mariah shows up. James and said they were done filming. Mariah gets there. They're sitting on the bed and everything. And then this conversation starts. And now Sophia, I said, girl, did you just insert yourself into some bullshit? And said, yeah, I thought you said you wasn't with her no more, James. And James is like, oh, shit, why did she say that? You know what I mean? And then it just got popped off. And Mariah Lynn's like, well, wait a minute, honey. She climbed up on the bed. She's like, well, let's talk. You know, this, that, and the other. You telling her that we ain't together? I'm here to support you, this, that, and the other. Next thing you know, there's this Gwennon thing comes out, and fuck Gwennon, and on and on. And Mariah says to her, well, wait a minute, Sophia, was he trying to get with you? And she says, of course. Now, if you want to let me talk, I said, Sophia, slow down. Slow down. Because I don't know why you got all this extra for Mariah, because Mariah ain't done nothing to you now. Now, you know Mariah ain't nothing but an old raggedy ass whore. So you got to watch. You can't be talking to Mariah real crazy because Mariah will try you. You know, honey, the next thing I know, before you could get child, Mariah done slid her ass across that bed like a little iguana, honey, and got to swinging at her. She ain't even really get her good because she fell backwards off the bed. She grabbed a handful of hair and yanked the shit out of her goddamn brains is what she did. And, you know, they tussled a little bit and they pulled them apart. And Mariah was like, okay. And then she took her purse and threw it at James's head. He gonna say, oh, wait a minute now. You don't disrespect James R. That motherfucker. Are you sitting around speaking about yourself in third person, you little cocksucker? I said, you cute, but ain't nobody got time for that. You really think you done drank too much of your own Kool-Aid, pal. I said, he was a mess. And yeah, it just went left. So Mariah and him is done. Mariah and Sophia got beef now. But Sophia, you deserved what you got. You did. And y'all know I don't even care for Mariah and all like that. But Sophia deserves what she got. James R. deserves what he got because he didn't have no business disrespecting Mariah. And Sophia didn't have no business disrespecting Mariah. And Mariah Lynn was there actually trying to give him an extra chance because he was out of order the first time. So, yeah, they got what they deserved. And that's just all that is on this I have to say, I'm Team Mariah. Now, Mariah, bitch, you done got downstairs. You was really feeling yourself singing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star and talking about you punched her in her eye because you did not punch her in her eye. You missed, and you did pull her hair real good. Now, you did that, bitch, but you didn't punch her in her eye. It was a cute little nursery rhyme, though. You should make a song out of it, but you didn't punch her in the eye. You have to get another scene, get Mona together and get you another scene and sneak her or punch her in her eye so you'll be authentic when you make your song. Good evening. Anyway, so let's move on. Talk about, let's talk about Anais, whatever. Anais. That bitch got a lot with her, too. Anais talked to Navarro. And she got to crying and carrying on. And she was very unapologetic about what went down between her and Ashley. He let her know right away, Ashley is my lady. And you and her both have no business talking to each other like that. Y'all both mean something to me, but y'all don't have no business calling each other bitches and whores and trying to fight each other. Absolutely not. So I was here for him. I said, come on, Navarro, you looking better than me all the time. Because he had actually met with Rich, and Rich gave him a couple pointers because Rich, you know, Rich didn't know how to handle his stuff, and he gave him some good advice. So Anais was really on some, she was really on one. She was very, you know, walking in, I ain't did nothing wrong, which is completely wrong. And I'm laughing at Navarro. You know, you're like my sister. No, motherfucker. She's not like your sister. She wants your dick. She's not like your sister, and y'all need to stop that. I said, and you tell Ashley anything you want, but Ashley ain't crazy, or so I thought. Anyway, so he talks to her, and Anais went on about how she don't know me and she ain't going to be disrespecting me and that bitch, this, that, and the other. She didn't take it back. She didn't eat it up. She continued calling Ashley bitches and stuff. So I was like, Navarro, I don't know what you're going to do. But at this point, she ain't on the right page to even sit down and have a conversation with Ashley. But anyway, he goes and he gets Ashley and they end up coming together and having this sit down. And Ashley ain't about that life. She not. They sat there at the table. She said, you know, when she come, if she be off the hook, I'm beating got up and smacked her, you know, or whatever. She ends up coming. They end up sitting down. Honey, that Anais come back right up in there, act like she ain't did nothing wrong. Ashley told her, listen, and this was, I ain't with these pictures you said on these naked pictures and all that. So she literally talked to her like she was a fool. You're looking into it the wrong way, and I don't mean nothing bad, and ain't no way he won't see me naked. Ain't no big deal, because we're all family. What kind of family, bitch? What kind of family is y'all? I'll wait. But anyway, told her he's going to end up seeing me naked because I got to get dressed sometime. And you might end up seeing me naked. And you and I will be to share some things that he won't be privy to. We family, this, that, and the other. Girl, she worked Jedi mind trick on Ashley just as good. And Ashley's like in her confessional, well, maybe I took it the wrong way. And I kind of, once Anais started talking, I kind of got what she was saying. Girl, she done bamboozled you. And I looked up, Ashley backpedaled, pussy popped, and fell up underneath Anais' spell, honey. And Anais is sitting over there looking at her like, girl, you is stupid, honey. She was giving her very much a, girl, I'm going to keep sending him naked pictures. And when you ain't looking, I'm going to jump on top of his penis, honey. Sure am. And I was sitting there looking at Anais, and I was liking her less and less as the moments went on. I said, look at her sitting over there, looking like a damn platypus. She's a mess. I don't think I care for her, y'all. She's too much. She need her ass beat. That's all there's to it. She need a good ass whooping. That's what she needs. And I'm sure somebody will give it to her sooner or later. Anyway, so let's talk about the last situation where someone had inserted themselves, and this was the worst one of all. DJ Self sits down with Bree, Dream Doll, and Jaquay. gets into everything that's going on and how this thing is going on beyond with them and Bianca. He gets an understanding for it. Dream Doll, now keep in mind, Dream Doll was just with Mariah. Her and Mariah's cool. They're label mates. So they're sitting there talking. Dream Doll's like, you know, it was my function that originally Brie and Bianca got into it at. And I'm pissed off that Bianca would try to turn out my function with that fuck shit. So now me and her got a problem. Hey, Dream Doll, I know good well your funny voice ass didn't just insert yourself into that bullshit. Where meanwhile, you and Bianca are actually friends. I said, that to me sounds like all the signs of a bitch that need her ass whooped. I said, okay. So I knew there was going to be something with me and this little Dream Doll. She cute, but she messy as hell. So she said, well, I'm going to go and I'm going to talk to Bianca and I'll get it all straightened out. So she takes her ass. She meets up with Bianca. She ain't even talking right. Bianca just rolling with her at first, right? Then Bianca told her, girl, it ain't even about coming nowhere to sit down and talk to me and you talking crazy. Your ass is talking crazy. You done sat here and trying to make me seem as though I'm wrong about what's happened to Brie. She's like, I sat and talked to her. She said I was trying to be nice. She's talking to me real crazy, talking about how she gonna jump on me. And I don't do that. I don't do you telling me you gonna jump on me. When you tell me you gonna jump on me and I see you, bitch, I jump on you. That's how that works. And Dream Doll's giving, well, you know, she's my girl and you're not gonna be disrespecting her. And she's like, yeah, but you're not going to sit there and disrespect me right now either. You know, so they go back and forth, and I'm sitting there and I'm saying, hey, Bianca. You know, usually I'll be like, Bianca need to calm down and all that, but this was the one time that I really wanted to go whisper into Bianca's ear, get that bitch. Get that bitch now. And push her. Get her. Get that bitch. Because Dream Doll deserved to have that whole motherfucking lace front yanked off her head, tied around her neck, and like a damn noose. Because she inserted herself all the way into that, then tried to punk Bianca, and as if that wasn't bad enough, pulled it all the way down and inserted Mariah Lynn into it. Mariah Lynn don't even have a clue about what's going on. Well, Mariah Lynn's your girl, and Brie got a problem with Mariah Lynn too. So that's just how it's going to be. It's just going to be you and her, y'all against us. I said, well, how did that happen? What did I miss? Poor Mariah Lynn has been pulled into this mess and don't even know what's going on. All this shit was Dream Doll's foolishness. Let me tell y'all what I think should actually happen to Dream Doll at this point. One, I don't know why my little Bianca took what she took and dealt with it that way. I don't know why she was calm. Maybe she can't whoop Dream Doll. But I don't know. But Dream Doll deserves at this point to have her ass beat thoroughly. She needed her ass beat completely out of the frame because she had nothing to do with this and she literally inserted herself into it. The other thing is, professionally, DJ Self tried to squash this thing. You volunteered to go, because when he said just leave it alone, we just go ahead and just make this music and then the hell with it, y'all stay away from each other. Because that's what he said. You volunteered to go, no, you can get it all straightened out. Not only did you not get it straightened out, you heightened the beef to somewhere else, and then you pulled in your label mate, and now you're going to beef with your label mate. And professionally, what DJ Self should do is take her contract and give it that. See you troublemaking bitch. On to the next place. Because now you've become a liability. You're a troublemaking bitch. and we don't want to do business with you no more. That's what needs to happen to her, because she blatantly caused trouble and inserted herself and yanked poor Mariah Lynn into some mess that ain't got nothing to do with her or her. But that's what I feel. That's what my feelings are about the situation. And I've talked about this long enough, almost 25 minutes. But Dream Doll, girl, it would be a total nightmare, bitch, if you was dealing with me. A total nightmare. You'd be somewhere sitting trying to pick up the pieces of that little lullaby that Mariah Lynn sang earlier. You'll have your ass beat and be trying to find somewhere to make some music, because you would not be making it with Gwennon if it was up to me. Anyway, I will talk with you guys next week. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in them comments. This was a mess, all that insertion of bullshit. All right, later, y'all.